An in-state rivalry matchup in the home of the only unbeaten team in the ACC right now. Reynolds Coliseum, NC State, and North Carolina. It's the Pack versus the Tar Heels on a Sunday afternoon. Should be a really fun one today. We'll take a peek at it. Kennedy Baker, Jason Ross Jr. with you. Kennedy, this matchup, I mean, it's so fun because we're in the inaugural year of ACC Gymnastics. It's back this year. And today we've got the only unbeaten team in the league at NC State taking on an in-state rival in North Carolina.
I'm very excited about today. We have two huge ACC teams, and they have such a good rivalry. We're going to see really exciting gymnastics tonight. I'm so happy.
It should be a fun one. Have some really talented gymnasts on both sides today that we'll take a peek at throughout the course of the evening. First, we'll look at the ACC standings. Mentioned NC State, only unbeaten team right now in the conference. Wins over Clemson, Pitt, and North Carolina. It'll be the second time these teams have faced off this season. You're looking also there at the 1984 banner that was hung after NC State won the ACC championship that year. The only year it was sponsored as a gymnastics championship. Fast forward to this season, it's the league's 28th sponsored sport. Back, NC State will be on the vault first, as you see their lineup leading off, Meg Adler, and North Carolina will be on the bars. And both of these coaches were really amped up for the matchup. Kim Landress has loved what her NC State team has done this season, said she feels they're just a little different this year than years past. And then for North Carolina, Dana Durante on that side of things. Her group has gone through some adversity, but trying to bounce back today and get their first ACC meet win. That's Meg Adler. Her parents actually went to North Carolina, so a lot of crossover between the rivalry, as you'd have to imagine. And she stepped over to the NC State side, and she will lead off the meet today.
Meg Adler starts with a huge Yurchenko full. That's a round off onto the board, back handspring onto the table with the salto element, full twisting off. Great job, feet a little bit too far in front of her. That's why she took that hop backwards, but solid start for NC State.
NC State on the vault, North Carolina on the bars. It'll be Julia Noer to lead off for North Carolina here. Put in a lot of work over the summertime and has had an impressive start to her year.
Huge opening release move you just saw right there. That's called a Ginger. That's a flyaway with a half twist, and then you re-catch the bar. It's challenging to start away from home, and Julia's doing a great job initiating this energy for UNC. Full twisting double tuck. I love the tongue out at the end of that. Super excited for her. Great start for UNC.
Julia Noer, the all-arounder for North Carolina. Emily Shepard, the all-arounder for NC State. Alexis Ortega will be on the vault coming up next for NC State.
And we talked to Coach Kim Landress about Alexis Ortega, and she is such a rock for them. In her 5th year of competition, she has mentored the younger athletes on their team extremely well and is really carrying their team in such a great way. Similar to the same vault that Meg Adler does, she does a Yurchenko full as well. That's a round off onto the board, back handspring onto the table. Only starting from a 9.95. Some vaults start from a 10.0, some start from a 9.95. The highest this vault can score is a 9.95. Great pop off the table. A little too much power, but you would rather have too much power than less. Good job in the second spot for Lex. There's that round off onto the board. Back handspring onto the table. You can see her really push through her hands off of the table. Really what the judges want to see. And just a hop in place. Nice job from Lex Ortega.
Next coming up is Jamie Shearer for North Carolina on the bar. She's been great on bars. They love how she's been swinging this week.
Nice start from Jamie. Huge Jaeger. That's that front flip release move that you just saw her do. And yeah, Jason, when we talked to Dana earlier this week, she said that she's been doing such a good job swinging on bars. They had to put her in lineup. Tried to hold on to that dismount. Small shuffle forward. Feet were a little too far behind her. But otherwise, great routine.
Jamie was born in Maryland before moving to Holly Springs, North Carolina. Now in Chapel Hill and competing in this rivalry. By the way, they gave Julia Noer a 9-7 on her first attempt on the bars. We'll see what they give Jamie Shearer. Meg Adler led off for NC State on the vault. They gave her a 9-6-7-5. Alexis Ortega followed up with a 9-7-7-5. And now here's Krista Zultevicz coming up on the vault for NC State.
Another Yurchenko full. Small shuffle. Almost got the stick. Really, really close. Again, that vault starts from a 9.95. That's the highest score it can get. Just a little shuffle back. Piked it down a little bit coming into that landing.
Now on the bars, Kaya Forbes. Kennedy, I know you're a big fan of Kaya.
I am a big Kaya fan. She is just such a fun competitor to watch. And she loves competing. Does really well under pressure. And really thrives in that environment.
And they've been working really hard to get her back on bars. The sophomore class overall for North Carolina has really grown tremendously since they were freshmen. And we'll see what Kaya can do here on the bars coming up next.
Yeah, this sophomore class for UNC has really been a staple in all of their lineups, especially Kaya. Last week she had a great bar routine. She stuck the dismount. On bars, what the judges are really looking for, the handstands. Are they all the way up? Releases. How high are they going over the bar? And what does their form look like in the air? Dismount. How well did they stick? Did they have to take a step? Or did they nail the landing?
Sounds like they're still working on a score, by the way, Jamie Shearer. So Kaya Forbes waiting patiently for her turn on bars. Julia Noer led off with a 9-7.
Kaya starts with a shaposh. It's this backward element releasing to the high bar that you just saw right there. Shoot over down to the low bar. The judges really want to see that element that she just did all the way up to handstand. She was a little bit short on that. Got that last handstand though. Trying to get the stick again. Chest was too low on the dismount. Held on to it, took that hop forward, but they're going to take a deduction there.
North Carolina is fourth on the bars this year. So now Ashley Knight will come up here for vault. And Kennedy, it's a bit of a different vault, right, for Ashley?
It is different. She does a front handspring onto the table and then a front pike half off. She's the only person in their lineup that starts from a 10.0, being able to be rewarded the highest amount of points in her lineup. Front handspring onto the board, front pike half, nice landing out of it. Excellent vault from Ashley Knight. Really needed that in their lineup. Let's take another look at that vault again. Huge front handspring. I love the block she has off the table. She soars in the air, spots that landing coming out. You can see she sees the mat. Nice job from Ashley.
Just glides up there. And you mentioned how important of a vault that is in their lineup with the start value. The low score right now on vault for NC State is a 9.675. So that's the one you drop at the moment. Yeah, you have 6 gymnasts on each event. Take the 5 highest scores, drop the lowest. highest cumulative team score at the end of the 4 rotations will win the meet. So Gwen Fink coming up next for North Carolina here. Trying to follow up what Kaya Forbes did. High score right now on the bars for North Carolina is the 9.70. So Gwen Fink trying to come up here next.
That's called a Jaeger. Huge front release move, flipping and then grabbing the bar again forwards. Short on that last handstand. The judges really want to see within that 10 degrees on top of the bar. Great control on that dismount though. Huge release move. That's that Jaeger that I was just talking about earlier. Tried to get this landing. Just the smallest of hops back.
In the first meet versus NC State, Gwen Fink had her career best in the all-around at 39.275. Was excellent on beam in that matchup as well. Meanwhile, Emily Shepard, speaking of all-arounders, she'll come up next on the vault for NC State.
Wow. Stuck landing. Excellence from Emily Shepard. Back to the Yurchenko full. That's that round up back handspring onto the table. Full twist off. Spots the ground and holds on to it. Starting from a 9.95, but great control out of it. That should be a little bit of a higher score for NC State.
When NC State prior to the ACC competed in the East Atlantic Gymnastics League. Emily Shepard was 2-time Gymnast of the Year in that league. And now Isabel Schaefer comes up here for North Carolina on the bars.
Similar to her teammate, she also does a Jaeger. That's that front flip, catching again. A little short on that shoot over handstand. That's that transition from the high bar to the low bar you just saw her do. The judges want to see vertical all the way up on top of the bar. Little twisting double tuck. Slight hop forward, feet were just a little too far behind her. Tried to get that landing. Nice job in the 5th spot.
And Fink had a 9.825 before Schaefer, which is the highest score right now on the bars for North Carolina. So let's see what they give Schaefer, and then that'll tee up Lally Dekanoidze, who will anchor that bars lineup for North Carolina. Meanwhile, Chloe Negrete will anchor the vault lineup for NC State. High score right now for NC State on the vault is a 9.825.
Huge Yurchenko full. So much power off of the table. Small hop backwards, but I really like Chloe's distance off of the table. You can see how far away she blocks and gets. Really important for the judges. Look at the height, the flight. So talented. Tried to hold on to that landing. Small hop back. Great vault from Chloe, though.
As we talked about before the meet today, she and Emily Shepard, who you have in that lineup, are 2 of the ACC Gymnasts of the Week so far this season. Now, Lally Dekanoidze will come up to anchor this bars lineup for North Carolina. Welcome those of you who are watching hoops to Reynolds Coliseum. In-state rivalry, North Carolina and NC State on this Sunday afternoon. First rotation wrapping up here with Lally Dekanoidze on the bars for North Carolina. NC State's already gone through their lineup on the vault. NC State, the only unbeaten team in the ACC this season. North Carolina in search of their first ACC win. And a good finish there for Dekanoidze on the bars. So that'll wrap the first rotation here at Reynolds Coliseum. More coming up next here on ACC Network. Going to talk about some of the favorite gymnasts that inspired some of these NC State athletes when we come back. After the first rotation, it's NC State up by .350 over North Carolina. You see Krista Zultevicz there with the career high on vault to spark that lead after the first rotation. Now into the second rotation, North Carolina will be on the vault. NC State will be on the bars. Again, these teams have already met once this year. NC State won that meet. They're 3-0 in ACC meets this year. North Carolina still in search of that first ACC meet victory, a group that's gone through some adversity this year. They have an excellent head coach in Dana Durante. NC State is led by Kim Landris. Had really fun conversations with both coaches throughout the course of the week that we'll dip into throughout the afternoon. There's Coach Landris. Kaylee Adamitis, who specializes in bars, will be the first to go for her team. But first, it's Isabella Schaefer on the vault for North Carolina. Brings such a steady presence for this team day in and day out.
Isabel has done just such a good job this season. And leading off this UNC team with another round-up back handspring. Tucked full. That's supposed to be in the tuck position. She was a little bit too open. You really want to show a full and complete tuck so the judges don't question what the skill is. And again, that vault only starts from a 995, so that's the highest score that it can get.
Mentioned Kaylee Adamitis, specializes in bars for NC State, the sophomore, coming up next.
Pack salto down to the low bar. You'll see her left hand slipped a little bit when she caught that release move down to the low bar, and then she missed that first pirouette. She wanted to cast and do that half turn on top of the bar the first time and had a little bit of a hand mess up there. Gets the dismount left, double tuck, holds on to it, chest a little bit low, had to take that hop forward, but really good job pushing through that routine. There were some challenges in there.
So Kennedy, as always, we want to remind people you have 6 gymnasts on each event per side. We'll count the 5 highest scores, lowest is dropped. So you think about that. If you have 2 mistakes, that's when things start to get a little sketchy, but you can drop that lowest score. Team with the highest cumulative score wins. Now into the second rotation, it's North Carolina on the vault, NC State on the bars. Again, NC State led after that first rotation. We do have a judge conference taking place right now. Second time we've had this so far in the meet, coming together perhaps on a score.
Yeah, I think the reason that they're conferring this time is to determine what skill Isabel was doing on vault. Like I mentioned earlier, it's supposed to be a tucked full, so her legs are supposed to be a little bit more bent than what we saw her doing.
Here's Dana Durante in her 3rd season as North Carolina head coach. And her daughter, Sammy, now on the staff as well, which is really cool. Sammy was a gymnast at LSU the last several years, and now she's joined mom on the staff. That's another fun conversation we had this week that we'll get into throughout the broadcast. So right now, while we have a minute, Kennedy, why don't we dip into the vault point of emphasis? What are you looking for here on the vault?
Yeah, the judges are looking for the start value. What do you start at? Is it a 995? Is it a 10.0? We saw some of those Yurchenko fulls earlier. That's that round off back handspring onto the table. Only starts at a 995. Some vaults start at 10.0. They're looking at landing. Did you nail the landing? And how far away did you get from the table?
Now ready to go once again, Corey Shinohara on the vault for North Carolina.
Another Yurchenko full for UNC. Great vault from Corey. Just a small hop backwards, but
they gave Isabel Schaefer a 9.6 prior to Corey Shinohara. Now it's Peyton Childs, Holly Springs, North Carolina native, coming up next for the pack. Her parents were actually North Carolina grads. Again, a lot of crossover in this in-state rivalry. You get some fun storylines like that.
Now she does her Jaeger directly to her low bar release move. Because she connects it, she gets the bonus and does not have to go all the way to handstand. Different from some of the other athletes that we've seen so far. Double tuck dismount, holds on to the stick and gets it. Oh, she's so excited. I love that for Peyton.
Gotta love that, and her teammates love it too with the stuck landing. I think Kim
Here's
Ladd
that Jaeger. Straight down to the low bar. Again, she does not need to go all the way up to handstand because she fulfills the bonus and requirement by connecting it directly from her first release move.
Kennedy Kim Landris told us she feels this team is just a little different. They get such an awesome approach to everything that she loves. You can feel the potential she feels that this group has overall this season, and it's showcased in their ACC records so far.
Absolutely, Jason. I think that's something that has really helped this NC State team, after talking to Coach Kim especially, is the leadership. The leadership coming from not only the triple threat, their seniors and their juniors and their fifth years that are back in this lineup, helping build the confidence of the team.
See Paige Prejean, the native of Houston, Texas, coming up next in the vault for North Carolina.
They do a Yurchenko full as well. Piked it down a little bit, had to take that hop back. The only event that we will see Paige in is vault, a specialist, sometimes making it more challenging and difficult. When you wait around all meet long for one event, it is sometimes a little bit more difficult than just doing all fours, staying warmed up, and great, but Paige did an awesome job right there.
More time to think, and maybe that it can be a good thing or a bad thing, like you said. Meanwhile, Maddie Reid coming up next on the bars for North Carolina.
Chappah straight down to a pack salto. Got that flyaway skill. Her shoulders were a little too far leaned over, and then similar to her other teammate, she wanted to pirouette on that first time she tried to cast that, missed it, and had to reattempt it, making the bar routine a little bit longer and a little bit harder. Just the dismount left, full twisting double tuck. Holds on to it, scoots that left foot back, but really fought through that routine. Excellent job from Maddie Reid, the sophomore.
So good start on the bars for NC State. Maddie Reid able to continue it here.
Had to fight through this routine a little bit. Pack salto, you'll see her shoulders are right on top of the bar. You want them a little bit further back so you're able to kip more easily out of the skill. Great effort from Maddie Reid, though. I have to say, I used to coach her, so seeing her in this role as a sophomore, helping her NC State team is really full circle and fun for me.
Gotta love that. Now Julia Noer coming back up for the Tar Heels here on the vault.
Another Yurchenko full round up back handspring onto the table. Piked it down a little bit, really fought to get that landing. Nice pop off the table. Anticipated the landing slightly, had that small pike down, really tried to get the stick.
Julia Noer worked really hard over the summer to upgrade her vault. They lean on her a lot for her leadership. Has competed on all around in almost every meet she's competed in at North Carolina. Flip back over to NC State here. Katie Harper, the freshman from Columbus. The freshmen have really emerged for the pack this season.
Huge Ginger. That's a flyaway with a half twist and then re-catching the bar. thought to get that handstand was a little too high over the bar. You want to kind of send that release move directly to the bar, and she had a little too much flight, but good job saving it. Nails that landing, though. Nice recovery from Katie. Huge Ginger. Love that skill, just a slight leg separation. Holds on to that dismount, though, and I love how her legs are really glued in the air throughout.
The low score right now for NC State on the bars is the 9.60 from Adamitis. So that's the score they drop. Again, you can drop the lowest score for North Carolina. Same thing, it'd be a 9.6 from Schaefer. That is the lowest score at the moment. Lally Dekanaidze coming up here on the vault for the Tar Heels.
Last week she stuck it, and this week she stuck it. I'm going to give her the stick. Her heels rose a little bit. But honestly, that could have been from the mat. Slight leg separation off of the table. Tried to get it. Okay, a small hop in place.
Lally's mom, Sophia, was a member of the gymnastics team for the country of Georgia, where Lally was born. She grew up with the sport, loving it and learning it her entire life. Alexis Ortega now on the bars for NC State.
Huge opening release move. Starting with, it's called a Hindorf. A clear hip ray where she releases her hands off the bar and re-catches. Just a double layout dismount here, similar to her teammate that just did it. Feet too far in front, hiked it a little bit, had to take that hop back. Let's take another look at this release move. This is huge, so difficult, has so much amplitude over the bars. Judges are really looking for that.
Kennedy, how much does the hop back versus hop forward affect that score?
Right. The judges want to see, they would rather see a hop backwards because it shows that you had enough power. If you took a step forward, it implies that you missed a little bit of power as well as taking the step. They're going to take a bigger deduction.
That's Kaya Forbes anchoring on the vault for North Carolina. What'd you think there?
Huge vault from Kaya. She's actually capable of a 10.0 start value vault, a 1.5. She's been competing the full lately, though. Once talking to Coach Dana earlier this week, she said they still want to kind of nail in that 1.5 landing a little bit more before they put it back out on the competition surface. Great effort from Kaya, though.
Now Emily Shepard, who became the first gymnast in NC State history to win Conference Gymnast of the Year twice when they were competing in the EAGL prior to moving over to the ACC this season. She's going to be a force for the pack all season long, a name to keep an eye on in this league.
Emily opens with a huge Jaeger. That's that front flip and then re-catching the bar right there. Beautiful pack salto. That's a flyaway transition from high bar to low bar. All the way up on that last handstand. That's exactly what the judges want to see. Vertical on top of the bar. And gets the dismount. Huge routine from Emily. That was really, really nice.
Let's see the release and dismount here, Kennedy.
Take a look at this Jaeger. So high, a little bit close, had that slight elbow bend there. But nice height on that pack salto as well. Full twisting double tuck. Nails it.
So we're now joined by Coach Durrani of North Carolina. Well, Coach, first couple of rotations in the books here on the road in this rivalry matchup. How have you assessed your team so far?
Yeah, proud of their fight. We're still finding our rhythm, I would say, but we had some really good routines. We had Isabel back in bars and vault and looking strong, and Lolly back in both of those events. So excited about their fight, excited about them finding their rhythm, and really looking forward to the next two events.
Dana, when we spoke with you earlier, you talked about the energy of this team being different. How is the energy different tonight, and how are you using it, especially for the last two rotations?
Yeah, good question. I mean, it's a great environment here. It's loud. It's a rivalry meet, so you would love that. And I think for our team, anytime you're on the road, you've got to create your own energy and find it within yourselves to just continue to do what you do in training. And so I'm proud of them for doing that, right? We love to compete here because there is such great energy and such a rivalry. So looking forward to just continuing to use that. Again, we talked about, I think whatever day it was, we talked earlier this week just about us having some of that adversity early on in our team's just willingness to continue to fight and build and get a little bit better each week. So we'll use that energy to continue to do that on both floor and beam.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There's Dana's daughter, Sammy, who has joined the staff this year at North Carolina. We're going to get to know the mother-daughter coaching bond a little more when we come back here on ACC Network. Moving on to the third rotation now, NC State extending their lead to .500 after the second rotation, and they'll begin this third rotation on the beam here with Meg Adler.
Starting with her acro series, she does back handspring, layout, step out. Excellent job. Every athlete has to have an acro series to fulfill that requirement in their routine, and a full turn as well. Sometimes the full turn is the trickier skill. No problems there, though. Beautiful side aerial. That's a cartwheel with no hands. Stuck. Meg is such a good job and does really great work starting for NC State. It's challenging to lead off on any event, especially the balance beam. Excellent job from Meg in the leadoff position for NC State. That should be a really great score from them.
You often hear the beam, such a pivotal part of the meet. Meg's parents went to North Carolina. She's from Chapel Hill, so knows both sides very well. And North Carolina on the floor here in this third rotation. Amy Wozniak will lead off.
Amy starts with a huge whip to double tuck. Beautifully done. I really like when people do whips. That's a back handspring with no hands into their passes, making it more difficult. A little low in her back leg on that switch lead. The judges want to see 180-degree split. Final tumbling pass here. Similar to her first pass, she does 2 saltos in the air, but in a pike position instead of a tuck. Holds on to it. Great job from Amy. Really good start for UNC.
And gymnastics runs in her family. Her older sister Sarah is a gymnast at William and Mary. One of her 5 siblings, along with Sarah, Megan, Hannah, Rachel, and Brian in her family. A really good start on the floor for North Carolina. And NC State leading the meet, entering this third rotation. They gave Meg Adler a 9.825 on the beam. Now Macy Jennings comes up, another North Carolina native.
Macy is really stunning on beam. Similar to her teammate Meg, she does a back handspring layout, but she actually does a triple series. So she does a back handspring, and then a layout step out on the end, making it harder than Meg's series. Straight to the stick. That was excellent. So good. Really nice job. I like how her switch leap, her legs are above 180 degrees. The judges are looking from that, from any dance element with a full split. This is such a solid routine from Macy. Gainer full, stuck it, a little pipe down, but really great job. I know she wanted to get that series especially. She almost fell on it last week. So to nail it this week is going to be a good feeling for her. Back handspring, layout step out, no hands. Beautifully done. You can see she piked it down just a little bit, anticipating that landing, but she got it, so.
Now Taylor Schultz coming up here for North Carolina on the floor.
Front layout, front Rudy. That's a front 1.5 twist. Taylor is so fun to watch, especially on floor. I love the way she performs. Really sells her choreography. Back 1.5 to front layout, just a small shuffle in her feet. Tried to hold on to it there. A little small in her splits. The judges want to see more amplitude and a little bigger split, but great job. One and a half front layout. You can see she tried to hold on to it. Right foot just shuffled slightly in front of her. Great effort though.
Taylor transferred from Brown, where our friends Alicia Quinn competed during her college days. Taylor's been a big addition for North Carolina this year. Now going back over to North Carolina State side, Katie Harper will be next here following a 9-9 from Macy Jennings. That was the high score so far on the beam for NC State.
A little low in her right leg on that shadow quarter. Again, the judges want to see 180 degrees on all splitting elements. Nice series. Back handspring layout, the same series that Meg Adler did. Right to the stick. front toss. A little off in that right shoulder. Great job staying on the beam. That's a front tuck, but from one foot. Setting up for the dismount. She does a front tuck full. Difficult because you cannot see where you're landing with your feet. I think she stuck it.
Let's look at that dismount again here, Kennedy.
Very difficult. You can't see where your feet are going. Oh, just a little hop forwards. Really great effort, though. It's hard to stick, especially out of front elements, because you can't really see where your feet are being placed on the mat. So you have to have the air awareness to just trust and know where you're at.
There's Cameron Rueda on the floor for North Carolina. They felt last week was her best, trying to follow up on that performance from a week ago.
Beautiful double pag from Cammie. Almost too much height and power off the floor. Feet too far in front of her. That's why she took that bigger lunge backwards, but stayed in bounds. So not incurring a deduction there. Nice flight on that 1.5 twist to a front layout. Setting up for final tumbling pass here. A double tuck. Nicely done. Stuck that last pass. Great control out of it. And really nice amplitude off the floor. Taking another look at this double pike, you can see how high she is and stayed in bounds. You can see those lines on the mat. That indicates to the judges where they're at when they land. If you step on or outside of the lines, it will be a 10 to 3/10 in deduction, but she didn't get any because she stayed in.
Now Alexis Ortega on the beam for NC State here. Bars and beam have been two great strengths for her this season.
Alexis has a really stunning beam routine. There's a couple different elements than you see most college gymnasts do, like right there. Usually people do a normal full turn. She does it in the L position, holding her leg at horizontal all the way around, straight to a nodi back handspring. That's a back handspring with a half twist. Beautifully done on her acro series. I really like Alexis's confidence on the beam. You can tell she knows that she's just going to nail it, and she does. Front handspring step out. Very well executed. I love her form in the air as well. Gainer pike dismount. Gets the landing. That's going to be a huge score for NC State. She's super excited about that, as she should be.
Kennedy, it's a confidence that comes from her curiosity. Kim Landers told us she's the type of athlete that will walk in the office and say, how can I get better so I can do things like this?
Beautifully done on that acro series. That's incredibly difficult to do a back handspring with a half turn in the middle of it.
Here's Bella Miller for North Carolina. She had a goal back in November of making this floor lineup. Over the first couple of years, didn't make the lineups. That was her biggest goal this year. A testament to when you put your mind to something, put the work into it, you can do it.
Right, Jason. I mean, as a junior, her first time competing for UNC out on the floor this season, and she's doing a great job so far. front through to double tuck. Excellent. Really nice landing out of that. Nicely done on her leaps. You can tell on those leaps right there, especially, she is at that 180 degrees. Really what the judges are looking for. Another double salto here, but in the pike position. Step forward, saved it. Slight under rotation, and your feet land too far behind you. Sometimes you have to take a step forward. Covered it nicely though with that lunge. Ending with the crown. You love to see it.
And all the work she's put into it, and you can see how much her teammates know she's put in that work. Really cool to see. Well, later this week, softball's back. We've got 5 softball games from the Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational. The action gets underway Thursday at 11 a.m. with North Carolina and Kentucky. Wraps up Sunday morning with North Carolina taking on number 10 Washington. You can catch all the action right here on the ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app. Now Emily Shepard on the beam here for NC State. Shepard, one of the all-arounders in this meet today.
And you definitely want the maturity of Emily Shepard, the 5th year, in this 5th spot in the lineup. They've had such a great lineup so far, relieving some of the pressure from 4, 5, and 6 in the later spots in the lineup. Nice series there, back handspring, layout, step out. Beautifully done on that side aerial. I really like the extension that Emily has on all of her skills. Her toes are so pointed, her legs are so extended off of the beam. Very impressive to the judges. Just the dismount left here, a side aerial to 1.5 twist. Blind landing. Got the stick.
That's your reigning ACC Gymnast of the Week. You see why there.
Wow. That is what the judges want to see. Way above 180 degrees. Again, this is a blind landing. She cannot see where her feet are going when they hit the mat. Has to trust where it is in the air, and she did just that.
Now Kaya Forbes coming up on the floor for North Carolina.
I'm very excited about this routine. Kaya opens with a huge tucked full in. She got the stick last week. Let's see if she can get it again this week. Wow! That was even better than last week. Oh my gosh, she didn't move her feet at all. That was so good. Nice job on that pass there. Front layout with a full twist. One more pass left for Kaya. Double tuck. Similar to her first pass. No full twist, though. A little too much power. Had to take that hop back. Huge opening tumbling run, though. I mean, she didn't move her feet at all. That is very difficult and super impressive.
Chloe Negrete coming up next on beam for North Carolina State. And she talked recently about what the best advice she's gotten from Kim Landris on this beam routine.
One that sticks out to me, and I hear it before every beam routine, it's do you. Do you just kind of means, you know, be unique, be your own self. Don't try to be anyone else because, you know, you're perfect.
And talking to head coach Kim Landris earlier this week, she said that is always Chloe's focus, is being perfect. And she spoke to us and told us that she tells her she doesn't have to be perfect. She just needs to be good. Nicely done on her lead series right there. Within that 180-degree split.
Already 3 scores of 9-9 or higher on the beam for NC State in this third rotation. Negrete anchoring.
Fought to get that dismount. Small shuffle backwards, but great routine from Chloe. Round off double full. That's 2 twists in the air. Tries to spot it. Just does a little 1-2 with her feet. Nice effort, though, from Chloe.
And beam has been a strength for NC State this season, and another good tour through the lineup there as Negrete anchored. So now anchoring the floor lineup for North Carolina is Julia Noah.
Very nice double pike to open. Beautiful height. I really like the height that she has on her front full, the first skill you saw, but also the second skill. Sometimes they don't rise, and the judges want to see the second skill rise just as much as the first skill did. Great job completing her leaps all the way around there. Final tumbling pass, a double tuck. Similar to her first pass. 2 saltos in a tuck position. That was excellent. Really nice job going straight to the lunge there. Here's that double pike. Nice extension and form in the air. Solid control out of it. I really like the landing on that.
Welcome in Coach Landris of NC State. Now, Coach, look at that beam lineup. You had 3 scores there at 9-9 or higher, and prior to that, a good start as well. What'd you think of the first few rotations in this meet?
You know, super proud of them. We talked all about being dialed in, being loud and proud today, and they have the energy, and they're really just focusing one thing at a time, and that was just a great beam rotation. We're going to carry that momentum to floor.
Going into the last rotation, we talked about how you guys are using the energy for you instead of against you. How are you going to carry that energy into the floor rotation?
You know, I think that we are one pack, and we have such a tight bond, and so the enthusiasm and just the craziness and the fun that they're going to bring to the floor, we're going to use it for us.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, well, Kennedy, she mentioned there's one pack. They do the howl in their floor routines, which we'll see in the fourth rotation. But before that, we have more coming up from Reynolds Coliseum. NC State and North Carolina. It's NC State leading the meet after the first three rotations. So North Carolina and NC State so far heading into the final rotation of this meet. You see on beam there, it was a season high for NC State. They had 3 different gymnasts at 9-9 or higher in that beam rotation. Kennedy, your thoughts as we head into the final rotation?
I think that both teams are doing a really, really great job. I know that UNC is going to have to get these landings on beam if they want to catch NC State. But again, really great competition so far.
So Coach Durrani there of North Carolina. 2 really good coaches that have been around the sport for quite a while. See the beam lineup here for North Carolina, led off by Jessica Naranjo, a freshman from Florida. Still a chance to get it started. Talking with Sammy Durrani there, who is the daughter of Dana Durrani, mother-daughter coaching bond that we talked about earlier for this North Carolina team.
Having Sammy give her experience before the beam rotation and your beam routine has to be super helpful just coming out of LSU.
Yeah, Sammy had 3 individual beam titles during her days at LSU.
Jessica starting with that front aerial, back handspring. Really, really great start. As a freshman, to lead off at an away meet is incredibly difficult. And she's doing a great job in the spot. Feet too far in front of her on the dismount. Slight hop backwards. Solid start for UNC, though. Definitely the way you want to lead off your team, on beam especially.
Now on the floor for NC State, trying to back up what they did on the beam. Leading off will be Maddie Hall.
Maddie opens with a double tuck. Nice power on that. Last week she struggled a little bit here on this front Ruby, also known as a front 1.5 twist. No issues today, though. Final tumbling pass here for Maddie. 1.5 front layout. Arms were a little low going into that layout. Landed with her feet in front of her slightly. Held on to it though.
Another one of the freshmen that have really helped out NC State this year. So back to the beam for North Carolina here. Points of emphasis. Kennedy, walk me through here.
So the judges are looking for dance and acro skills. Do they all meet the requirements? Connections. Did you get everything in a row? Do you start from a 10.0? Is everything solidly connected? And balance. Are there balance errors or balance checks? Or are you going straight to the sticks on all of your skills?
Jessica Naranjo is given a 9.825 in that leadoff spot on the beam. Here's Ellie King, the freshman from Texas.
I like that split half that you just saw her do right there. Sometimes she cheats her feet a little bit in the beginning. Not there, though. Jumped in the air, then did the half turn. Nice job on that back handspring layout, step out. Fulfilling her series requirement. And just 2 dip down in that right shoulder. Took that fall. That's going to be 5/10 in deduction.
So this will likely be the score that they'll want to drop in the beam rotation.
Just the dismount left. Round off 1.5 twist. It's that blind landing again. She cannot see where her feet are landing. Good effort from Ellie. You'll see that right shoulder is just 2 dip down. The left one's too high in the air, taking her off balance and throwing her off.
Now Ashley Knight coming up on the floor for NC State. Brings a ton of energy in everything that she does.
You just heard it right there. Something really fun about the NC State team is that they all have that Wolfpack somewhere in their routine, whether it's in the start or the end. Beautifully done front double. Just a small hop to the finish. Great amplitude, though, off the floor. Nicely done on her leaps there. Definitely in the 180 degrees, what the judges want to see. Talking to Coach Kim earlier this week, she said that Ashley just loves to perform, loves to compete. Really likes getting the crowd involved. Front 1.5 twist to layout, step out. Soft knees in that layout, step out.
She was ACC Newcomer of the Week last week of January. So much potential for Ashley.
That front double twist again. She just had so much power coming out of it. That's why she had that little bounce, but wow, great height in the air.
Now Hallie Thompson coming up on the beam for North Carolina. Grad student, worked her way back as a junior after a season-ending injury. Now in her grad student year, specializing in the beam.
Triple series. Oh. Off on that layout step out. Looks like her back foot was turned out slightly. Too much. Unfortunately, UNC is going to have to count a fall. So it's really important how she finishes this routine, because they're going to need her score still. They're definitely going to want to drop Ellie King's 8-9.
That's where he had the deduction on the fall.
Good effort from Hallie. She's definitely going to be disappointed in that fall. It is important how you finish, though, because you might need to count her score especially. And you can see that back foot's off. Her front foot's turned in a little bit too much, taking her off the beam.
Kennedy, the pressure that comes going after a fall, and then just feel like that can compound at times. Now we've seen it go somewhat throughout that UNC beam lineup. So flip it back over to the floor. Krista Zultevicz will come up next for NC State.
Krista opens with a huge 2.5 front tuck. Very nice control out of that. And Krista's such a great dancer. Really performs to the crowd. I love how you can tell that she's having such a great time out there. Her teammates doing the choreography with her on the side. Last pass here. Double tuck. 2 saltos in the air. Great job going straight to the lunge there. And she's happy about that one.
Such a fiery routine, Kennedy.
Absolutely. And this first pass was so well done. I love how her legs are glued in the air on that 2.5. Sometimes you'll see athletes cross their legs a little bit when they twist, but not Krista. Again, nice height on that double tuck.
When we spoke to her head coach, Kim Landers, Krista had actually just left her office. Krista transferred in from Kentucky and just has fit in so quickly. Now Gwen Fink on the beam for North Carolina. See, the low score is 8-9 right now.
And Gwen's in a very difficult spot of having to go up after 2 falls, knowing how important this routine is going to be for the UNC lineup, wanting to get this hit here. Prepping for Afro series. Triple series. Nice job. You can tell she was a little bit off in that right shoulder, but really corrected it, covering it up so the judges take less deduction.
Gwen tied for first on the beam in the first meeting between these teams that NC State won, but I think was definitely a bright spot for North Carolina in that meet.
And Gwen's poise on the beam is exactly what you want after having 2 falls in your lineup. So prepared and ready to hit. Just a dismount left. 1.5. Big hop forwards. But that's exactly the routine that UNC needed in their lineup to get them back on track and back on the beam.
It has been a really fun start on the floor for NC State. Other than the howling out, Kennedy, what are the points of emphasis here on the floor?
The judges are looking for the difficulty. How hard are your tumbling passes? Presentation. Are you playing with your choreography? And then, of course, landings. How many steps did you take out of your passes, or did you go directly to the stick?
This is Katia Edwards from Virginia.
Huge double pike from Katia. Very well done. A little short in the split on her leaps. Like I've mentioned earlier, the judges want to see 180-degree split. Nice job dancing out of that full front layout directly into her choreography. Having fun with her teammates there. One of the best parts of college gymnastics is watching everybody do the routines with them on the side. Double tuck here. Nice job. Controlled it on the way out. Had her feet a little too far in front. Bigger step on the lunge, but really nice control. Great routine from Katia.
That followed up a 9.875 from Krista Zultevicz. We'll see what they end up giving Katia. First, let's look at it.
Let's look at this double pike again. This was so well done. Really nice form in the air.
Big hug there with her head coach, Kim Landress.
Gwen Fink did a really good job of setting up this team. Resetting the lineup from Gwen Fink a little bit. Beautiful height on that back handspring layout. I really like the rise that she gets off of the beam. Little balance check on the end there. Her front toss. That's a front tuck from one foot, but she does hers in the pike position. And with a round off 1.5, another blind landing here. Good effort from Julia. That was a great routine.
Let's look again at the dismount with their teammates cheering her on here.
Having that support in the back is so important. You can definitely feel it when you're up on the apparatus, and having your team support you is so helpful.
North Carolina fighting through some adversity on the beam today. Here comes Emily Shepard in the all-around for NC State, and here she is on the floor.
I love Emily's choreography. This part right here is probably my favorite part, when she just turns up to a stand. That's just impressive choreography. Wow. That was pretty excellent on that double pike. Really nice form in the air from Emily. Front layout to front full. Prepping for this last pass here. Ending with a double tuck. 2 saltos in the tuck position. Nice job, fought to keep it in bounds. Really good work from Emily.
She was first team on 3 of her 4 events last season. Capping her day off on a high note here.
Great meet from Emily. And let's take another look at this first pass. The height she gets, she is so high up there. And her legs are glued together in the air. That's exactly what the judges want to see. And you can see she almost went out, but saved it. Really great effort from Emily.
Now anchoring the beam for North Carolina will be Taylor Schultz.
I liked that split full a lot more than the one that I saw last week. Last week, she didn't get her feet all the way around. That one was much more completed.
Coaches will tell you she is really fun to watch work on the beam.
And so confident. Definitely somebody that you want in your anchor position. Just the dismount left. Side aerial to 1.5. Cannot see where her feet land, so she's going to have to feel it in the air. Tried to get it, just a little shuffle backwards. Nice effort, though. It's hard to go last, especially after a fall or two. And she delivered where she needed to.
In this meet, it was NC State that had their season team high on beam, which extended their lead heading into this 4th rotation. And now it's Chloe Negrete with a chance to really end it on a high note for NC State as she'll anchor the floor lineup.
Chloe's such a performer on this event specifically. A little different than a couple other NCAA routines. Hers is more intense, and she does a great job of playing her choreography up. She opens with a huge double pike, same pass that we saw Emily do. Nicely done. You can see she stayed in those lines. Nice job dancing directly out of her pass. Well executed. Final tumbling run here. Double tuck, 2 saltos, tuck position. Just a bounce out of it because she had so much power. Nice close, though, for NC State in their floor lineup, and great job from Chloe.
Chloe's had such an amazing story. Had to sit out 2022 with an injury. Bounced back last year with the best season of her career. Was named the College Gym News Comeback Gymnast of the Year. She seems to like going up against North Carolina as well. She won the ACC Gymnast of the Week after the last meet against North Carolina. and she caps off what will be a victory for NC State today. A superb floor lineup once again for NC State. They'll get the meet win at home, and we'll wrap it up on the other side.